I was at the University of Chicago for 2 years before I came here. Went there for a liberal arts education and to be transformed by the education. And I found I wasn't being transformed, I was just spending a lot of time in the library. And so the University of Chicago couldn't demand things of me, like it couldn't ask things of me like I wanted it to. It could only ask that I spend a lot of time studying, and it couldn't really ask anything more than that. And so I wanted some kind of bigger commitment and some kind of project or school that was going to ask a lot of me and change the person that I was.
Everything at Deep Springs feels almost like a heightened reality, especially when you first show up and when it's still like surreal and say, oh my God, I'm a Deep Springer. So the founder of Deep Springs, Lucius Nunn, LL Nunn, as we call him and as he was known in all the documents. In 1917, he brought about 20 students out and they started construction of the first dormitory. And the express purpose that he gave to Deep Springs was to instill in its students effacement of self. So his students were supposed to walk away and want to serve the greater good. So Deep Springs operates on 3 different focal points, if you will, called academics, labor, and self-governance. So academics is just like at any other college. We go to class. We have a lot of reading to do. Labor is the ranch, kitchen, and office work that students do. Generally, they work 20 to 30 hours a week, but depending on how busy it is and what season it is in terms of the ranch, that labor can extend upwards of 40 hours a week. And then self-governance is just the big hand that the students play in running the college. Students are largely responsible for hiring faculty and for selecting the incoming class every year.
The academic program is an integral part of the institution, so that it's not only an outward bound kind of experience or something like that. The labor program is really, in a sense, another form of work. I think one of the things that the labor program can do is to provide a paradigm for how students ought to be thinking of their academic work. But the other great thing about the labor program is that it pushes you out into the valley, and it's a very beautiful valley, as you've seen. And so there's a connection with the natural world that is, I think, increasingly difficult to get in a college environment these days. Probably the central insight that LL Nunn had was that students ought to be given a huge responsibility in order to become full, rounded, educated individuals. And that emphasis is still very much at the heart of the way Deep Springs works.
In regards to food production, I was thinking that we've really lost connection with livestock and animals. I think that our relationship to animals is pretty distant. And here you get to work with animals, and you get to be around animals. And in the case of the dairy, you get to know the animals. And I think that's something that used to be part of our heritage that's been lost.
Because we're 18 and 19-year-olds who are asked to work on a ranch and drive tractors and drive cattle around the valley, and so we don't know how to do those things when we get here. So we have to learn. And messing up and failing is one of the integral aspects of the education.
One of the things that a lot of alumni walk away saying, and that I'm beginning to start to understand myself, is that Deep Springs leaves you with a feeling, however false it might be, of omnicompetence, where you're presented with something that you don't know how to do at all. You have no experience with that thing. And the experience of being at Deep Springs and being called upon constantly to do things that you're not comfortable with, and possibly to fail, and sometimes to fail miserably, is humbling and also encouraging. And it lets you jump into a situation and just say, I don't know how to do this, but I have a vague idea and I'll give it my best shot. And a lot of times things work out better than you could have hoped.
The school doesn't need to run smoothly. Things don't need to be going well here all the time for it to work. Students just need to feel invested and have a lot of responsibility and have the freedom to fail and to mess up. And I think that's when things are going well. And I think that's how it serves to prepare it's students for lives of service to humanity. I think that's how it works, is that you just get used to being needed all the time and having to do all these things all the time, and there's a sense of urgency that your action is meaningful and that you are needed, and everything you do has meaning for other people. And when you leave Deep Springs, I think you're kind of supposed to maintain that sense that the world needs you, that like your actions are meaningful, and like every single day there are significant things you can do to change the world.